What is up, DTube Steam blockchain? So today I want to talk about my concerns with voice. So I got a new email from them and they talked a little bit about, February 14, 2020, they're gonna do something, right? So I want to talk about my concerns about voice from Block One or from the EOS team. So let's first mention this thing where, well, they had an event this summer and then we heard nothing from them for almost 6 months or maybe even longer. And then randomly now it's just like an email. Oh, in a few months we're gonna do something. But actually, how they hyped up the event was that they're gonna do something amazing. Um, and then nothing really happened. They actually said like there was something, a few months, they said that a couple of months ago. And my main concern about voice is this aspect of, the way I understood it, they're gonna try to implement some kind of KYC social media or like some identity social media. I don't know. But the key thing here is they're trying to implement some ID system that, if you look at Instagram, they don't have it. Twitter, they don't have it. Facebook, they don't have it. So why would it make any sense to try to implement something like that right now? And what is the whole idea behind it? So the whole idea is like, is it really, like, looking at the state of the world, how it is right now, does it really make sense to like start to collect people's identities and like try to pin them down? Oh, this one lives here, this is who this is, and like, how would that even scale? Like, I don't even understand it. Like, is that really what people need right now? It's like, no, like, we don't need more people that like gathers people's data and like, because I mean that is basically what it is. It's like trying to gather exactly who everyone is and try to make a system where where it's like, okay, we want to know everything about you, but we are not going to tell everything about us. So for example, the EOS team, you don't really know who that is in many ways. Like, maybe you know some name of some person, but most of them you don't really know. Like, you have no clue. So it's like, it's kind of weird. So you have an entity, they want to know everything about everyone else if you want to get onto voice, as I understood it. And then you're gonna get some kind of token or whatever. But it rings warning signals, because it's like, okay, that's weird, because, well, you can use Steam blockchain and you don't need like an ID KYC control system. So why would you make something like Steam but just worse, and probably inside of an app? So for example, the good thing with Steam blockchain is you can access it inside of a browser also. So it's like and it's like open, everyone can see stuff. If you have some kind of gateway keeping, oh, you're not a member. Oh, do you want an account? Oh, you have to send in all your data. It's like, why would it be good? Why is it good to send information to a centralized partner? Like, send in a bunch of information about yourself, because now you get a problem where someone has a lot of data and that can be corrupted. When someone has your data, basically, that can be corrupted eventually. It's like, why put yourself in that position where you basically gather people's data? That's not smart. That's not a trustless system. It gets weird, man. Like, it gets super weird. And and even like the money EOS raised, they even said like, I mean, they even know it themselves that they have to say things like for regulatory purposes and stuff like that. They did not. They set it up on maybe British Virgin Islands or someplace like that. So it's like they already understand the controversy of like trying to innovate or trying to do something with money or with people. So they should also understand, if you're building systems, if you're building blockchain-based systems that are pseudo-anonymous, it's like, why would you make a platform that like try to gather people's data and like try to make something? It's just weird. It's just so weird. Like, I have such a hard time to like you can make systems that doesn't put people in this position. Um, you already have trouble scaling systems that are sort of open already. So why would you like make it even harder, like more gateway keeping, and really make this? Yeah. So when you have collected people's identities, they're not really going to be that open anymore. They're not really going to be themselves, because it's like, it's kind of weird. It's like, why do you have this information? Huh, that's weird. Like, why do you need that information? Because even if you look at the Steam blockchain, if you look at most users, they use regular humans. It's like they're not doing anything crazy. So why would you need to gather all this information? It comes from a place of suspicion, like already from the start. It comes from a power position where it's like you're trying to make the system of, oh, I am authority here and I need your data. But that's kind of weird. Like, it is weird because most actors, most consumers on the internet, they're not crazy. Okay, they're not crazy. So you don't need to gather like what their data is. You can see what they're doing, and most people are not crazy. So it's like, so it really makes zero sense. How would Facebook work if they had a system like that? They would not have scale. They would not have scale. Instagram also would not have scale, because the systems, if EOS, if Block One is trying to make this system, it's trying to make an exclusive system where you only let a few people in, and you're trying to control everything. And the main concern is, okay, if you couldn't get Steam to work, but Steam is actually working. But if you say like Steam is a failed project, that's wrong, because Steam is still up and running, and it's the only thing that still is like social media and inclusive and like open. And if you call that a failure, then I mean it's a parody in many ways. So I'm not saying this can work on like small scale, right? It can probably work a little bit, but I don't see it like working in the long run, because it's like, why do you need my information? You're not supposed to have that information, right? Because if you have that information, someone can come to you and ask you to give that information to them. It's weird. It's very weird. And this is also why we're like kind of suspicious about Facebook and all these big companies, because they are gathering a lot of data. So why not build trustless systems instead? They're moving more towards that. Uh, Instead of trying to do something that the banks are already doing. So in a way, you sort of have to understand like the bigger thing here, that you're sort of moving away from systems where you had the sanctity of authority, and when you're sort of moving more towards truth, and if you're moving more towards truth, and if you're true to yourself, you see that you probably should not, like, if you don't need to have this information, because it's like you coming from a position that you're suspicious about other people, and that's weird. Like, it's very, very weird. So this is something that is going to come up probably more and more in the future. It's like when we have more and more intelligent systems that rely less and less on humans, that are sort of having all this data, or like having these ideas, when we have more computer-based systems that just work trustlessly and so on, it's like it's going to be much better. So yeah, I do not believe this is a great idea. If it didn't work, or you can say it works in many ways with all the other old systems, but people's data is being leaked all the time. So why even collect the data? It makes no sense. Facebook data about, people using it leaks all the time. So the only way to make systems that make more sense is to not gather people's data. Because then you're playing into the tiger or whatever it is you want to say. Yeah, so I'm not sure if this video sort of made any sense, but if you have seen in the world, you have to look at the bigger picture, I think, in many ways. And if a person really knows what goes on this planet, it's like they sort of understand the seriousness, and it's like, no, it's very important to not gather people's data. If you really are serious and really want to build amazing systems. Systems that are basically on people's side, right? Open systems, inclusive systems. Not asking weird questions about people. They just want to do some normal thing. Not coming from a suspicious place. Yeah, so that's what I want to talk a little bit about today. Have a great day, DTube and Steem blockchain. Bye bye.